There is a silent killer in this world. It does not shout, it does not strike with a sword, and it does not wear the face of an enemy. It is dressed in comfort, disguised as safety, and welcomed into homes without suspicion. It is the life lived. In the middle, the gray, the lukewarm, the average. Average is the slow poison that dulls ambition. It makes you believe you are living, when in truth, you are simply existing. It whispers, "You're doing fine," when you know deep down you were born for more than fine. Average is not failure. Failure at least teaches. Average is comfort without growth, breathing without truly being alive. The greatest danger of average is that it does not feel like danger at all. It feels like ease. It feels like normal. And in the comfort of the normal, your dreams decay quietly, out of sight, like a masterpiece left in a dark attic. Look around you. The world's greatest inventions were not born from average minds. The light bulb did not come from a man who said, "This is good enough." Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before he found the right filament. 1,000 days of defeat. And yet, he rose again, because average could not contain him. Henry Ford was mocked for believing every family could own a car. They said he was insane. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. Abraham Lincoln lost elections, suffered personal tragedies, and was told he'd never make an impact. What made them different? They refused to accept average as their destiny. They saw it for what it was, a slow erosion of the soul, and they made a decision. I will burn the bridge to mediocrity. So there is no way back. The truth is this: the average life is the enemy of the life you were meant to live. Not because comfort is wrong, but because you cannot grow in it. A seed does not grow in still air. It needs pressure, movement, struggle against the soil. Without resistance, the seed rots where it lies. And yet, most people cling to the middle. Why? Because it's safe. Because it's predictable. Because it requires no risk, no humiliation, no chance of looking foolish. But let me tell you, safety has a cost. The cost is the book you never wrote, the company you never started, the love you never pursued, the life you never touched. Do not misunderstand me. This is not about chasing riches for the sake of riches. It is about the wealth of the soul. It is about using every ounce of the talent placed in you, so that when your final day comes, you have nothing left to give. You cannot do that by staying average, because average is not a place, it's a mindset. It is the decision to settle when you could soar. And if you want to rise above it, you must first see it for what it truly is, a quiet surrender. Every time you say, "This is good enough," when your spirit knows it isn't, you hand a piece of your life to mediocrity. There is no greatness without the willingness to be misunderstood, without the courage to stand alone. If you want to rise beyond average, you will walk roads others fear to tread. You will wake before the world wakes. You will work when others rest. You will believe when others laugh. It will not be easy, but it will be worth it. Average demands nothing of you, and so it gives you nothing in return. Greatness demands everything, and gives you a life that echoes beyond your last breath. So, I ask you, will you trade the rest of your life for a comfortable prison? Or will you break the walls and walk into the storm, knowing it will shape you into something unshakable? I have seen men and women waste decades believing the lie that there is time to wait. There is no time. Every day you live in average is a day you can never reclaim. If you want to rise, you must make a violent break with the middle ground. Burn the ships. Step into the unknown with nothing but your will, your belief, and your refusal to turn back. And here is the truth that most will never admit. The climb from average to extraordinary is not about talent. It is about obsession. It is about the kind of focus that bends the world to your vision. Average people do not lose because they lack ability. They lose because they lack the hunger to keep going when everything inside them says to stop. Do you think Edison had better tools than his competitors? He didn't. Do you think Lincoln was born into privilege? He wasn't. Do you think Ford had an easier time than the hundreds of automobile inventors who failed? Not at all. What they had was a refusal to sit in the middle. They understood that average is a silent agreement with the world to remain invisible. And you were not born to be invisible. You were born to be a fire in the dark. You were born to lift your voice above the noise, to leave something behind that could not have existed without you. But first, you must kill the part of you that is willing to live without urgency. Stop telling yourself you'll start when you feel ready. You won't. Stop believing you can rise while holding on to the comforts of the middle. You can't. The path to greatness begins with a single, fierce decision. I will not die average, because here is the secret. Once you make that decision, and mean it, the world starts to move differently. Opportunities appear. Ideas flow. People feel the weight of your conviction. But this will not happen for the one who flirts with their dreams. It will not happen for the one who treats ambition like a hobby. It will only happen for the one who takes their life in their hands and says, "This is mine, and I will shape it into something that matters." And if you think this is too intense, then maybe you've already made peace with average. The world will never hand greatness to you. It will test you first. It will try to see if you are serious. It will put obstacles in your way, not because it hates you, but because greatness is forged only through resistance. The river does not cut through rock because it is strong. It cuts through rock because it is relentless. Day after day, year after year, it refuses to stop. That is the difference between the extraordinary and the average, not force, but persistence. Most people have strength for a day. Few have strength for a decade, and so they never see what was meant for them. They surrender too early. They stop digging 3 feet from gold. History is filled with the bones of dreamers who almost made it. Do you think the gold rush was won by the first man to swing his pickaxe? No, it was won by the one who swung it long after everyone else went home. In every field, the same law holds true. The market rewards the one who refuses to disappear. The athlete who trains when the stadium lights are off. The writer who rewrites until the page bleeds truth. The leader who keeps showing up when the cause seems lost. But average has no patience for this. Average says, "It's been too long. It's too hard. Maybe it wasn't meant to be." Average builds excuses faster than it builds progress. And the danger is this. Those excuses sound logical. They sound reasonable. They sound like wisdom, but they are nothing more than fear dressed in reason's clothing. Understand this. Greatness will demand seasons where you feel lost. It will demand nights where you question everything. It will strip you of comfort and demand that you walk barefoot across uncertainty. Most turn back here. This is where average wins. But if you keep going, if you press forward while the path is invisible, you cross into a place few will ever know. You begin to feel the power that comes from refusing to yield. You learn the truth. Discipline is not a punishment. It is the purest form of freedom. Yes, freedom. Because when you have discipline, you are no longer a slave to moods, to whims, to the false promise of someday. You do what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. And that is the key to destroying average, doing what others won't, for as long as it takes. Look at any monument, any masterpiece, any movement that changed the course of history. Behind it stands someone who was willing to be laughed at, ignored, doubted, and ridiculed for years. But they were also willing to rise every morning with the same unshakable commitment. I am not done yet. There will be days when progress is invisible, when the seed you planted seems to have vanished beneath the soil. Do not be fooled. Every day you stay consistent, the roots grow deeper, and one day they will break through in a way that looks like an overnight miracle to the world. But you will know the truth. It was not luck. It was not chance. It was the reward of refusing to sit in the middle. The middle, that's where dreams go, to be forgotten. It's where you start thinking in small circles, where you measure your life not by what's possible, but by what's comfortable. And here is the cruel trick. The middle will celebrate you for staying there. It will give you approval, applause, and just enough reward to keep you from leaving. People will call you realistic. They'll say, "You're doing well," but deep down, you will feel the ache of what you could have been. That ache is the voice of your higher self calling you upward. Ignore it long enough, and it grows quiet. Not because it has nothing to say, but because you have chosen not to listen. Do not silence it. Do not betray it. Feed it with action, because if you do, if you give your higher self the fuel it needs, you will begin to transform. You will see yourself doing things that once seemed impossible. You will step into rooms you once thought you did not belong in. You will meet people who were invisible to you before. This is the truth most never learn. The moment you step out of average, the world shifts. Doors that were locked begin to open. Not because they weren't there before, but because average kept you blind to them. You will also lose people. Friends who only knew you in the middle will not understand you at the edges. They will call you different, arrogant, obsessed. They will say you've changed, and they will be right. Because you cannot rise without shedding the weight that kept you grounded. Do not fear the loss. The people who belong in your higher chapter cannot be found in your lower one. You will also face another enemy, the temptation to slow down once you see progress. The temptation to think, "I've done enough. I can rest now." That is how average sneaks back into a life. Understand this, momentum is fragile. Stop pushing, and the world will pull you back toward the middle. This is why the truly great never stop. It's why Carnegie kept building long after he was rich. It's why Picasso painted into his 90s. It's why Mandela fought for justice, even after prison, because they understood that the fight against average is not a battle you win once. It is a war you wage every day, and in that war, there is no neutral ground. You are either moving forward or sliding back. So you must make a vow to yourself. I will not step back into the middle. I will not let comfort steal my calling. I will not forget the cost of staying where it is safe. Average will tell you there is always tomorrow. Greatness knows there is only today. Average lives for tomorrow. Greatness lives for now. Not because now is comfortable, but because now is the only moment that can be shaped. Do you think the mountain cares about your excuses? Do you think the wind waits for you to be ready? Life moves with or without you, and if you choose to, linger in the middle. It will pass you by like a river flowing around a stone that refuses to move. You were not created to be a stone. You were created to be the current, to move, to carve, to transform the landscape around you. But here is the great tragedy. Most will spend their years trading their fire for safety. They will trade their hunger for convenience. They will choose a path that does not challenge them, simply because it guarantees they will never fall too far, and so they will never rise very high. The danger of average is not that it will destroy you. The danger is that it will preserve you in a half-lived state, untouched by both victory and defeat. But a life without risk is a life without depth. It is the difference between watching the ocean and sailing it, between hearing a story and living it. Ask yourself, which do you want? To exist in safety until the day you fade, or to live so fully that when the final page turns, there is not a single line unwritten? Every great soul you admire chose the latter. Marcus Aurelius, ruling an empire, still rose each morning to write his meditations, not for the world, but to sharpen himself. Da Vinci died with unfinished works because his vision outgrew his years. Alexander marched until there were no more worlds to conquer, then wept because he still hungered for more. And here you are alive, in the same human form they were. You breathe the same air, you hold the same potential. The question is not whether greatness is possible for you. The question is whether you will pay the price. And make no mistake, there is a price. You will sacrifice comfort. You will face loneliness. You will carry the weight of days when nothing seems to work. You will bleed for a dream no one else believes in, but every drop of that price is worth it. Because when you rise above average, you taste a freedom the middle will never know, the freedom of a life lived by your own design. This freedom is not given, it is forged, it is hammered into shape through repetition, discipline, and an unshakable belief in where you are going. Belief is the engine, discipline is the fuel, vision is the map. Without all three, you drift back to the middle. Average has no vision. Average has only reaction. It waits to see what the world will give, and then complains about the portion. But greatness does not wait to be served. It builds its own table, carves its own path, and feeds others from the abundance it creates. Do not let the middle fool you into thinking you can coast and still climb. There is no coasting uphill. Every morning you wake, you are either moving toward the summit or sliding back into the valley. The slope is constant, the pull is relentless. Only effort keeps you rising, and effort is not a single act, it is a way of life. It is the decision, repeated daily, that this matters more than sleep, more than distraction, more than the approval of those who settled, because the approval of the average will cost you the respect of your own soul. You will know you've escaped the middle when your actions no longer depend on applause, when you no longer need the world to understand you, when your fire is fueled from within, not fed by the crumbs of validation. This is the point where you become dangerous to the forces that keep people in the middle, because once you have tasted self-generated power, no one can take it from you, not a boss, not a critic, not even the storms of life. From that place, you become a force of nature. Like a tree that grew through stone, you are rooted too deep to be removed. Like a lighthouse in the blackest night, you become a signal for others, not because you sought to inspire them, but because you dared to live at full height. And that is perhaps the most beautiful truth. When you rise above average, you give others permission to rise as well. Your courage becomes a mirror in which they see their own potential. Your life becomes proof that it can be done. But none of this will happen if you keep one foot in safety and one in the climb. You cannot soar while still clutching the ledge. Cut the rope. Step fully into the ascent. Yes, you will stumble. Yes, you will bruise. Yes, there will be days when you wonder if you were foolish to leave the middle at all. But I promise you, the day will come when you stand on a height you once thought unreachable, look down at the valley of average, and know it was worth every step. And when that day comes, you will not crave a return to comfort, because you will understand that comfort is not the goal. Growth is the goal. Purpose is the goal. The full use of all that was placed in you, that is the goal. So I say to you, live now, move now, decide now, because the middle is waiting for you to hesitate. And the longer you wait, the more it will wrap its arms around you until you no longer wish to leave. Average is patient. Average will wait your whole life. But so will greatness. And only one of them deserves your years. Choose average is the great thief. It will not steal from you with violence, but with softness. It will take from you without you noticing. A day here, a year there, until one morning you wake and realize you are living a life you never truly chose. It begins quietly. You skip the extra hour of work because tomorrow will do. You set aside the big idea because it's not the right time. You tell yourself you'll start after the next holiday, the next raise, the next season of life, and in that waiting, you wither. Not because you are incapable, but because the habit of waiting becomes the habit of living. Listen to me. Life does not delay itself for your convenience. Opportunities expire, energy fades, people change, and the dreams you think will wait for you will find another hand to build them. There is a graveyard filled not with the bodies of the defeated, but with the dreams of the hesitant. Ideas never born, books never written, journeys never taken. You do not avoid risk by staying in the middle. You simply accept a slower kind of death, and here is the truth you must face. Average is not neutral. It is regression. The moment you stop climbing, you start sliding. There is no stillness in the human spirit. It is either rising or falling. If you do not direct your growth, the world will direct your decline. You must be ruthless with the forces that pull you back to the middle. Ruthless with your time. Ruthless with your energy. Ruthless with the people and habits that dull your edge. Some will call you extreme. Let them. They live in the middle, where every decision is softened, until nothing sharp remains. But you are not here to be softened. You are here to be forged. Do not be afraid of being called obsessed. Obsession is simply the word the average used to describe the dedicated they. They will not understand your early mornings, your late nights, your relentless focus. They are not supposed to. They do not see what you see. You see the mountain in front of you, and know it can be climbed. They see the mountain, and call it impossible. Do not argue. Do not try to convince them. Your results will speak for you, and by the time they understand, you will be standing at the summit. The climb will break you before it builds you. It will strip you of the illusion that greatness is easy. It will teach you to work without applause, to sacrifice without promise, to persist without certainty. But it will also give you something far greater than comfort. It will give you self-respect. There is no greater power than knowing you kept your word to yourself. No amount of praise can match the quiet strength that comes from looking in the mirror and seeing someone who does not quit. And here's the paradox. Once you cross beyond average, the world opens in ways you never imagined. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You see connections where others see coincidence. You see solutions where others see problems. You see opportunities where others see risk. That is the hidden gift of leaving the middle. Your mind begins to operate on a higher frequency. You stop asking, "Can I?" and start asking, "How will I?" This is the shift that changes everything. But it cannot happen if you keep negotiating with mediocrity. You must end the negotiation. You must close the door. You must decide, once and for all, that the middle is dead to you. Write it down if you must. I do not live in the middle. I do not settle. I do not give my life to average. Repeat it until it burns into you. Repeat it until your actions match your words. Repeat it until the people around you know it without you having to say it, and when they see it, something remarkable will happen. The right people will be drawn to you. People who think bigger, move faster, expect more. Your circle will shift. Your standards will rise. Your life will transform not by accident, but by design. And all because you made the one decision most never make. To reject average. Understand, you are not fighting for a trophy, for a title, or for applause. You are fighting for your life. The life you know, deep in your bones, you were meant to live. That life is not in the middle. It never was. It is at the edges, the extremes, the places where comfort fears to go. So go there, run there, break through every wall between you and that life. Yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, it will hurt. But so does staying in a place where you know you do not belong. One day, you will look back on this moment, the moment you decided, and you will not remember the fear. You will not remember the pain. You will remember only that you chose to live fully, fiercely, without apology. And that is worth everything. Because the truth is this: the greatest danger in life is not losing. The greatest danger is winning nothing at all, because you never stepped onto the field. The middle will give you nothing. Greatness will give you everything, but only if you choose it. And you must choose it now. So rise. Stand up from the seat of comfort. Step away from the table where small dreams are served. Walk toward the fire. Walk toward the climb. Walk toward the life that will demand all of you and give you more than you ever imagined in return. This is your moment. Do not waste it. Do not wait. Do not drift back into the gray, because average is waiting. And if you give it the chance, It will keep you forever.